everyone, I'm Rama K. Ramaswamy here with my colleague Paul Falcone with Wellesley Media, and we are at CleverHand Gallery, and we're talking to the CleverHand Gallery potters today. We're here to cover the emerging artists from Wellesley High School today for their metals and ceramics work. So first we have Remy, did I say Remy Gold, and tell us about how cool it is to have high school students featured here, and their work featured here today.
It's very cool, and this is our 8th year of presenting the Wellesley High School show, and we have the potters and we have the advanced metal people. So we have jewelry and we have metal sculpture.
Very nice. What's your favorite piece?
Oh, I just couldn't go there. No, I just think many of the pieces are just stunning.
You like them all?
I do, yeah.
So if anything's missing, we'll know who it was.
I actually have a little favorite. I like the cups with the animal handles that Abby, I think, what is her name? Abby Buckham? Yeah, they're pretty unique. I really like those. But I like lots of things. Yeah.
Well, we'll put you down as liking everything.
Okay.
Sorry, you're safe.
That's very diplomatic.
Sounds good. Right. Hello, Anne.
Hi.
So behind you is your work.
That's right.
Right? That's your
Yes.
stuff. Your beautiful work. So you're a potter extraordinaire. So give us some thoughts and comments about the high schoolers' work.
It's exciting to see their work. They're really, both the potters and the metalwork people are just using a lot of different techniques, and they're doing it very creatively. It looks like there were a lot of hard techniques there. Ramy was talking about the cups with the bird images on them, and just forming those handles takes a lot of control. And one of the other pieces that really takes a lot of control, and I'm only speaking as a potter because that's what I know, is there's a vase in the window that's just a lovely vase. It comes up to a very narrow, very graceful opening. And that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Is it because of the symmetry?
Well, I mean, part of it is it's a very symmetrical piece, and if you're working on a wheel, even with a wheel, it's hard to keep it that round. But it's very hard to start with something wide at the bottom and then pull it up into just a very narrow opening.
Oh, I was just astounded when I saw it. It just, it took my breath away. Both the metalwork and the pottery. And just as Anne, my first thing that drew me was that particular vase that she was talking about. And I thought, well, you know, something that happens when you first start is you make it very heavy. And I picked it up and it was light as a feather, and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's just amazing, their skill.
So it's a hidden surprise.
It was a beautiful surprise.
Do you have any favorites for the metals?
I like the shoe the best. No, not the best, but it stands out, but I think it's because it is so flamboyant, you know, it's just, and then I looked at the other pieces, and they are just so imaginative, and it takes so much control and skill to do that sort of thing. But like Anne, I'm a potter, and that's not my strong suit. I know more about the pottery, and they did some really great raku-ware. The really tall vase in the window is also very difficult because it's the type of clay that they're using is not a stiff clay, groggy clay that likes to stand up by itself. It has to be encouraged to stand up by it and to stay up, you know. So they have learned some magnificent technique.
The ceramics class, it's an intensive class, meaning that it's more of like a major class for us. So we are there almost every day of the cycle, almost every day of the week. And it just gives us really an opportunity to be really free with our own pottery making. She definitely likes to give us the reins on it so we can really explore everything that we can. She likes to structure it too in some parts so that we have a little bit of guidance, and she's just making sure that we're getting a wide range of experience with the different types of ceramics and pottery. We have to do sculpture sometimes, but a lot of times it's just really exploring our own interests, exploring what we want to do. Yeah. I should have mentioned Miss Larson, the best. It's actually her birthday today. So, yeah, everything, all the credits go to Miss Larson. She's a fabulous teacher. She does everything for us. She helps us in every possible way.
And tell us about this, what is this, a pot or what we call it?
Oh gosh. This is just a bowl that I made. I honestly couldn't tell you the specific glazes I used, although I think it was a Crystal Forest and Antique Blue that I used, and I would say that the biggest part about this piece that I really like, or the two biggest parts really, is that it's really light. I tried to throw it as thin as possible so that there would be the least amount of weight, because I find that it's kind of unsatisfying, or I don't know, uncomfortable when a piece is really heavy. So I like to make my pieces light, and I really like the way that this lip came out right here. I think that it looks really organic and it goes really well with the colors of the piece as well. It originally came from a mistake, actually. The piece was a little bit wet and I accidentally knocked the side of the lip and it started to bend, and I thought actually maybe I should do this around the entire piece, really try to work with our mistakes. And that's another thing that Miss Larson tries to teach us, that every mistake is really just an opportunity to do something different with your piece, to experiment with something a little bit different. So I would say this is definitely a great example of that.
Well, this is both our second years in Metals Intensive, and every term we have a project, and we have to follow certain guidelines, but other than that, it's very creative, and we're allowed to use whatever materials there are in the room, and it's a lot of fun. Well, she has drawers of just like either metal wire or metal sheets and stuff, and she also has plexiglass, which I use a lot of, and that's also in the closets, and she has like drills and everything, and we have like torches in the back, and it's really amazing.
Yeah. So for this fish, the project was actually casting. So the fins on the fish, I made a mold out of wax, and then we poured silver into the molds, and that's how I got the fins. This is an anglerfish, so it actually lights up.
Ooh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this is an LED, and there's a wire that runs all the way through the fish down to the bottom. Yeah, and then the fish is made out of nickel and brass. And then the skeleton of the fish is made out of brass tubes. And then the eyes are enameled. A few years ago, someone in our class actually made an anglerfish, and I really liked it, so I wanted to kind of keep the same idea, but obviously make it my own style. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of variety within our class with everyone's different styles, and then just also what they want to make.
Mine was for my term 1 project, and we were all forced to, or we decided to, choose an artist whose work we would emulate. And the artist that I chose was Paulette Werger, and she makes a lot of silverware. But I enjoy making a lot of jewelry, so I was thinking about ways to incorporate her silverware style into my jewelry style, and so I made earrings that resemble silverware.
My piece was the origami chime family, the bird one. Well, at first, this project was part of the silver casting project, so I decided to make an origami little silver bird. And so I used the origami bird as a model, and then after that, because I want to showcase the silver bird, so I made a mother bird, and then a nest so that I can kind of just showcase like origami chime family. Yeah. I do a variety stuff. So for example, I'm currently working on building a metal cheese with little mice inside of it, and that's mainly just metal sheet project. Another thing, I also do kind of like painting and a little metal together, which is like a Japanese fan that I was working on. And other things, I sometimes do some enamels, which is also part of the projects. I think for now it's like something I do just for fun, but I am like seriously considering minoring in visual art in college.
Well, I'm a sculpture ceramic artist, so I make all my pieces by hand instead of on the wheel. So I just use slabs to make all the pillars, and I put them all together, and I have a series of 3, so the other 2 are twisted out in other directions. And then I just painted it with these raku lines because I wanted there to be a distinct difference between each slab. I prefer sculpting, and I like being able to control everything that happens to my piece. And with sculpting, everything that happens to me, I physically have to do. So instead of it being on a wheel where you can have other forces like moving your piece around, or you can push something a little bit and it'll pull out the other way, with sculpture I feel like I have a lot more control over what happens. It's purely art. It's supposed to be like a kind of vase thing, so maybe you can put some flowers in it or something. But I don't think most functional pieces aren't really raku pieces, especially because I didn't glaze the inside. But I think it's just purely decorational. Especially because I'm a sculpture student, it's giving me a lot more time to actually sculpt pieces, because it takes a lot longer to sculpt, and having that full block class all year gives me a lot more time to actually work on my sculpture and improve my skills.
Well, all my pieces are different versions of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland and then Peter Pan. So I'm like trying to work with like an after Alice world, so like after Alice left and all like the articles are just kind of lying around and being overtaken by nature. It's supposed to represent like your childhood, like all like your imagination was like slowly going away, but as you enter adulthood with new possibilities, like represented by the growing like plants, it's like opens a new door for what you can like do in the future.